Dear viewers, this is my second lecture on the topic bioinorganic chemistry. In my earlier lecture on the same topic, I have discussed what is bioinorganic chemistry. We have discussed the essential and trace elements and their classification. We have also seen what are the criteria for deciding whether a particular element is essential for body or not. Then we have discussed the dose response curve, the role of trace elements in the body. The essential trace elements iron, copper and zinc were discussed in detail, and apart from these some ultra trace elements like cobalt, chromium, manganese, molybdenum etc. were also discussed. The outline of my today's lecture is like this. Today I will be discussing the alkali and alkaline earth metals, their distribution in body, their biological roles, and with emphasis of the biological role of sodium and potassium, sodium potassium pump and the concentration gradient. Then we will be discussing the function of alkaline earth metals which include calcium and magnesium ions and the role of magnesium ion in photosynthesis. Then we will compare the alkali metals and the alkaline earth metals. Coming on to the alkali and alkaline earth metals. What are alkali metals and what are alkaline earth metals? These metals are basically the S block elements. S block elements means, if you look at the periodic table, the starting two groups, that is 1s and 2s, the elements present in those groups are called S block elements. Sodium and potassium belong to the alkali metal, while calcium and magnesium, they belong to the alkaline earth metals. These are macro minerals. Macro minerals, as the name suggests, macro means in large amount, that is these elements are required in larger amount in the body as compared to the trace elements. We will see the distribution of alkali and alkaline earth metals in human body. Now we will look at the distribution of the alkali and alkaline earth metals, that is sodium, potassium, magnesium and calcium in the human body. This distribution is in millimole per 1000 gram. If we look at the blood cell, we will see that the amount of sodium in millimole per 1000 gram is 11, that of potassium is 92, magnesium is 2.5 and calcium is only 0.1. Inside blood plasma, sodium is 152 millimole per 1000 gram, while potassium is 5, magnesium is 1.5 and calcium is 2.5. Inside the fluid of neuron, that is intracellular fluid of neuron, sodium is 49.0, potassium is 410, while in the extracellular fluid of neuron, sodium is 440 millimole per 1000 gram and potassium is 22, whereas magnesium and calcium are absent from the intracellular as well as extracellular fluid of neurons. So, from this table we can see that the amount of sodium and potassium is higher as compared to the amount of magnesium and calcium. Coming on to the biological roles of sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium, that is the alkali metal ions, these help in maintaining the osmotic pressure of the cells. These take part in the acid base processes in the body. These also helps in regulation of the membrane potentials. Potassium take part in the determination of conformation of biomolecules, in activation of enzymes and in synthesis of a chemical, the name is acetylcholine. Sodium take part in activation of enzymes and in secondary active transport. The biological role of sodium, especially sodium, they have been listed in this particular slide, which says that sodium is a major component of extracellular fluid, that means the fluid which is present outside the cell. It mainly exists as chlorides and bicarbonates. The function of sodium are, it regulates the acid base equilibrium in biological system, it maintains osmotic pressure of the body fluid and hence protect the body against the fluid loss. It preserves the normal irritability of muscles and permeability of cell. It also controls many enzyme reactions. The injectable medicines are dissolved in NaCl before being injected into the body. That means all the injections which are being injected into the body, they are first dissolved in NaCl solution. Now coming on to the potassium. Potassium, which is again alkali metal ion, It is present as cation in intracellular as well as extracellular fluid. That means it is present both inside as well as outside the cell. The function of potassium are, it influences acid base equilibrium like sodium does in extracellular fluid. It controls osmotic pressure and water retention in the body. It is important for metabolic functions like protein biosynthesis by ribosomes. A number of enzymes like glycolytic enzyme, pyruvate kinase require potassium ion for their maximum activity. Sources of potassium are banana and coffee. Sodium potassium pump, which is a very important pump which is present inside the body. If we look at the sodium and potassium, they are chemically similar because these both are alkali metals. These are present in the same group, that is the first group, and these have the same electronic configuration with one electron in their valence shell. So, these have chemically same properties, we should say similar properties, but there is difference in the biological response of these two ions. While sodium are pumped out of the cytoplasm, that is the fluid present inside the cell, potassium are pumped inside. That means from the cell sodium are pumped outside, while potassium they are pumped inside. This ion transport is called sodium potassium pump, which involves the active take up of potassium ions and expulsion of the sodium ions. The difference in the concentration of these two ions inside and outside the cell membrane produces an electrical potential which is crucial for the functioning of the nerve and muscle cells. The mechanism of sodium potassium pump. The basis of the mechanism of the sodium potassium pump is that sodium potassium ATPase is phosphorylated by ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, in the presence of sodium and magnesium ions. The site for phosphorylation is the side chain of specific aspartate residue E. Here E is basically phosphoprotein. In the presence of ATP, it is phosphorylated and it forms the intermediate E minus P, and this ATP gets converted to ADP. In this process, energy is required and this process is called phosphorylation. The phosphorylated intermediate, that is E minus P, in the above reaction is then hydrolyzed. It gets dephosphorylated in the presence of potassium ion and gives the original phosphoprotein. That is, this E minus P, which was the intermediate in the earlier reaction, it gets hydrolyzed in presence of potassium ions and it gets converted to E, that is the original phosphoprotein, and this particular reaction is called dephosphorylation. Sodium potassium pump is an example of active transport. Active transport means in which the energy is used to move a solute against its concentration gradient. Usually what happens, a solute can easily move from a higher concentration level to a lower concentration level, but from a lower concentration level the solute cannot move to higher concentration level, and to do so some energy is required. Therefore, such type of transport is called active transport, in which the energy is being used. During the reaction, that is during sodium potassium pump, in sodium potassium pump, 3 sodium ion and 2 potassium ion are transported per ATP molecule hydrolyzed. That means, one ATP molecule is used in transporting 3 sodium ions out of the cytoplasm and in pumping 2 potassium ion inside the cell. Therefore, the pump generates an electric gradient across the plasma, that is, this pump is electrogenic. Each operation of the cell pumps out larger number of sodium ion from the cell than the potassium ion that it pumps into the cell. As a result, the interior of the cell acquires an excessive negative charge, while the exterior of the cell acquires an excessive positive charge. As a result, the interior of the cell acquires an excessive negative charge, while the exterior of the cell acquires excessive positive charge. Why is it happening so? This is because 3 positive charge are being pumped outside the cell in form of sodium positive, while 2 positive charge in form of potassium positive are being pumped inside the cell. And due to this charge difference, that is 3 are coming outside and 2 are going inside, the cell acquires an excessive positive charge outside, that is at its exterior, and inside it acquires an excessive negative charge. Due to this charge difference, An electrical potential gradient is developed across the cell, and this gradient is responsible for the transmission of nerve signal in the animals. Higher intake of sodium ion is a problem. That means we should not take sodium ion in excess. The daily requirement for sodium ion is 1 gram, while there is no such risk from taking higher intake of potassium ion, but potassium ion deficiency is more common. And as I have already told, this deficiency can be overcome by consuming more of bananas and coffee. Ratio of sodium and potassium ion is called the concentration gradient. The ratio of sodium potassium ion, that is concentration gradient, in humans, rats and horses is 1:7, while that in cats and dogs is 15:1. Function of the concentration gradient. Concentration gradient controls the development and functioning of the nerve cells. In restful state, potential of the nerve cell is linked to potassium concentration across the membrane. During activation of the nerve cells, a chemical called acetylcholine is discharged, and this discharge is transmitted through the cell by electric impulse. Coming on to the alkaline earth metal and their biological roles. The first element is calcium. Calcium 2 positive, that is calcium ion, are present as phosphates in the bones of humans, beings and animals. About 99% of the calcium is present in the skeleton, where it is maintained as deposits of calcium phosphates in soft and fibrous tissues. The remaining 1% of the calcium ion is present in the body fluid, where it is partly ionized. This ionized calcium is important in the blood coagulation and in maintaining the normal excitability of the heart, muscles and nerves, and in the differential aspects of membrane permeability. The major inorganic constituent of bone is comprised of a crystalline form of calcium phosphate resembling the naturally occurring mineral hydroxyapatite. Additionally, the bone contains a substantial amount of non-crystalline amorphous form, that is calcium phosphate. What are the functions of calcium in the body? Calcium regulates the process of nerve transmission. It also regulates the muscle contraction. It regulates electrolyte balance in the body, and it also helps in blood coagulation and building of bones and teeth. The next alkaline earth metal is magnesium. Magnesium is essential to all the organisms. It is relatively present in large concentration in red blood corpuscles as compared to plasma. Functions of magnesium. Magnesium helps in the activation of enzymes and in determination of conformation of proteins. It takes part in hydrolysis of ATP, which is the universal source of energy in organisms. It also helps in the metabolism of energy and in building of the bones. It is the constituent of chlorophyll, which plays an important role in photosynthesis in plants. Magnesium ions are present in enzyme phosphatase, which act upon organic phosphates and hydrolyze them into free phosphates. Magnesium ions are present in enzyme aminopeptidase, which hydrolyzes polypeptides at the free amino end of the chain to form lower peptides and sometimes free amino acids. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is basically an important redox reaction which is carried out by green plants in nature to convert water and carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, that is starch, and oxygen in presence of sunlight. Chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present in the leaves of plants and which helps in carrying out the process of photosynthesis. This chlorophyll is made up of basically a porphyrin in which center magnesium ion is present. In the process of photosynthesis, 6 CO2 plus 6 water, they gets converted to glucose, that is C6H12O6, and oxygen is being released, and this process is done by chlorophyll in presence of sunlight. This is the structure of chlorophyll A. In chlorophyll A, this particular CH3 group is present. If this CH3 group is being replaced by CHO, that is aldehyde group, then this will be chlorophyll B. Transphosphorylation reaction involving ATP also proceeds smoothly in the presence of magnesium. That is, this is also a role of magnesium. In this we see this is ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. It contains 3 phosphate group and it is an energy rich molecule. It gets converted to ADP, a phosphate group is being removed and energy is released, and this structure is ADP, and this conversion is also carried out in the presence of magnesium ions. Important points about calcium and magnesium. Calcium are needed to bring about blood clotting and contraction of muscles such as heartbeat. Deficiency of calcium ions causes a disease called tetany, while excesses of calcium it causes calcification, that is deposition of calcium in bones. Both magnesium and calcium ions are excreted via large intestine instead of kidney. Comparison between the alkaline earth metal ions and alkali metal ions. Alkaline earth metal ions mainly calcium. If we compare it with alkali metals, we will see that calcium has many advantages over alkali metals because it has higher charge to radius ratio. Therefore, it has higher affinity for most ligands than alkali metal ions, which are also hard acceptors like calcium. Calcium ion is also advantageous when high reaction rates are needed along with high affinity for oxygen ligands. This was all about the alkali and alkaline earth metals. Coming on to the summary of my today's lecture. In this episode, we have discussed the biological role of alkali and alkaline earth metal, their functions and their distribution in the various parts of the body. We have also discussed the sodium and potassium pump and seen that 3 sodium ions are expelled out of the cytoplasm, while only 2 potassium ions are pumped in, which generates a potential gradient across the plasma, which is responsible for the transmission of the nerve impulse. We have also seen that a greater intake of potassium ion has no risk, while the greater intake of sodium is risky for the body and it creates many problems in the body. We have also discussed the function of calcium and magnesium ions in the biological system and seen that calcium ion is important for bone and teeth formation, while magnesium has an important role in photosynthesis. In the end, we have studied that calcium is advantageous over alkali metal ion because of its high charge to radius ratio. In my upcoming episode on bioinorganic chemistry, I will be discussing the porphyrins, metalloporphyrins, hemoglobin, myoglobin, their structures and functions, and the mechanism of oxygen transport, cooperativity and Bohr effect.